Solo is the worst Star Wars movie ever created.
I just feel so many emotions when I watch.
Into some of the best Star Wars ever. I love the prequels. I'm a big fan of the prequels. Talk about their power from. Favreau and Filoni need to be in charge of all creative.
I was more interested in learning more about Kira and Maul's relationship than anything else with Han.
It just goes to show what having people on the same page does to a cohesive story.
Sebastian Stan would crush it, I feel like, as Luke.
And I'm really excited. Well, I totally fucked that up. What's up, everybody? Oh, I still got that up? Damn, I'm not ready at all. Damn, what is this, amateur hour? Good Lord. As the sign says, welcome to the shit show. Welcome to the shit show. Oh, man. We watching Kingsman again? Why? What does that mean? Were there technical problems during that? Oh, because I had the poster up. Yeah, that way. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the stream. How am I doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Stayed up till like 4 a.m. working on Kenobi. And then prepping for this. And then got up at like 9:30, 10. Got Stranger Things posted. Had some lunch. Got some work done. That's why the stream got moved a half hour. Had some work to handle. It always seems to happen right when I need to go do something. It's not work related, but it's what happens when you got a gig. And now we're here. Now we're here. No, we're not going to react to Miss Marvel now. I will check it out at some point in my very limited free time. Right behind getting caught up on Hawkeye and What If. Nikki does not show up for the Star Wars streams. This is a me thing, trying to build something a little extra. What about Groot? What, his little animated? Yeah, we're not going to react to that either. I mean, again, I've talked about this a lot. I'm not too jazzed up about the kiddie Marvel content. I'll just consume it off camera so I don't hurt feelings. Just so I could stay up as much as possible on the MCU. I got French toast the other morning, but Nikki made it. The oldest child has not made me French toast yet. Very disappointed. Her birthday is coming up. The younger one's birthday is first. It's like in a week. And then the oldest birthday is in July. I don't think I'm the demo for some of this other Marvel content either. Kind of with you, Delar. And I know they're shifting into like a new direction with like the younger kind of like passing of the baton type of stuff. But It's just not stuff I'm into. Not my style. I don't think the kids would appreciate the filming in Miss Marvel. It's very kiddie. Yeah, I'm not gonna... I'll power through that then at some point later when I need to. I mean, like, even like the Stranger Things content, which is geared around kids, like, that even took me a minute to be like, okay, it's kids content, but it's not. It's dark as fuck. Is it for grown-ups, though? I don't know. Not everyone's the same. So, saying something's for grown-ups, I don't know. Like, we talking like 30-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50, like, that's such a wide, giant brush. You're talking about filmmaking? I mean, we're talking about Miss Marvel, so... Well, let's talk about Star Wars, which is hopefully what everyone's here to talk about. Directing and cinematography. I don't know. I think a 7-year-old could appreciate good-looking camera shots. There's a lot of very smart 7-year-olds. See, there you go. Even an adult doesn't like cinematography. Everyone consumes things completely different. What order would you suggest to watch, read all Star Wars? I would suggest at least the core 6 movies. If you want to include the 9, it's fine. You can include the 9. I'd watch them in release order. We had this conversation not that long ago. It would be interesting to see the point of view of starting with Rogue One and then going into A New Hope. See, I appreciate really good cinematography, but if the story sucks, you're going to lose me fast. Story is easily the number one thing for me. You throw a cool one shot in there and have beautiful shots like Breaking Bad or like Better Call Saul, then I don't think the problem with any Marvel content is the way it looks. I think at least everything that I've seen to this point looks really good from Marvel. I don't feel like they really cheap out on a lot of stuff. The animated series? You talking about like Clone Wars and Rebels? That's tough. Save all your questions and thoughts for Kenobi later, so we could talk about it at the end. Because I'm gonna do my normal spiel. I'm gonna kind of just highlight all the things that happened in the episode, and then we're gonna discuss it. And if you've got, obviously, I always hate saying this, but it's important and it's just the facts. Super chats will always guarantee a comment getting read or literally read on the stream, because the bot reads it. And it helps very much to support the channel and everything that we're trying to do and build around here, so very important. And hitting that like button. Hit that like button. Is my watch here? I don't think that's my watch. I don't know who's at our door. Someone's at our front door. Black Panther had bad CGI. Oh, he's trying to sell shit. We have a sign on our door, bruh. No soliciting. The story is another thing. I don't think the CGI Black Panther took me out of the movie. Yeah, don't feel bad if you can't super chat. It's just for those who can, it's appreciated. It's not a requirement or necessary thing. We will see. There aren't like 10,000 people here, so comments won't get missed. I was hoping to, I finally ordered an Apple Watch, chat. I finally ordered an Apple Watch. I thought Verizon was trying to scam me. Stop it, Joe Mags.
Warning, Solo sucks rant.
Maybe top tier for worst Star Wars movies. Haha, gotcha. Black Panther was actually my first movie that I saw in theaters. MCU. I'm gonna try to get at least one day stream a week to do something like this. Talking about stuff, specifically probably Star Wars, maybe other content that's dropped weekly. Can't do a like a Stranger Things show because they drop every episode all at once and we're not watching them all at once. I saw some of Star Wars Celebration. The stream didn't offer a lot. It felt like. But saw Star Wars in theaters when it released. My first Star Wars theater experience was episode 1. I mean, you can say whatever you want about Miss Marvel. I'm not going to get mad about spoilers. I don't care. It's not something we're watching or reacting. If it's not something we're reacting to, I don't really care. Unless there's other people in the chat who... Did they drop one episode? Are they doing one episode a week for that show? I did not recognize any of the Frozen Jedi, no. There was speculation that there was a Mace Windu in the background somewhere. We'll talk about that. They didn't shoot a Mandalorian panel? That sucks. 6 episodes? Dude, what is it with them in 6 episodes? Like, 6 episodes feels like nothing. They really got to get away from 6 episodes. We're probably not going to have time to do a wrap-up for part 1. We're going to be cramming those episodes in all the way up to July 1st when the final 2 episodes drop. 6 episodes is a lot if you compare it to one movie. But it's different. There's something different about it. Like, Kenobi should legitimately be 3 2-hour movies. And I feel like it would flow better. Because that's what it was originally created as. It was originally meant to be a movie. The next 2 episodes better bang or you're throwing hands. I think we're all... At least the fans And like one of my biggest, as I've gotten more and more kind of like attempting the Star Wars content world, because I do have my Star Wars channel that I'm losing faith in it, but I'm trying. I'm going to do a rebrand of it soon. See if that helps anything, but I've been getting a lot of social media messages, like stuff that I don't even follow on Twitter, like because of the category Star Wars. The new pet peeve of mine is when people put fan in quotes, like you're not allowed to be critical of something. If you're critical of it, you're not a fan anymore. All right, let's talk about Kenobi episode 4, huh? What do you guys say? Before we jump into this specific episode, I actually did tweet something on my personal account talking about why seeing Kenobi the way we have up until this episode works. I guess I need to preface it with works for me versus what we've seen with Luke in The Last Jedi. And it really just boils, like, my key word on that, the really simple thing, is visual storytelling. I don't know if that's a difficult thing to grasp or understand, but we have an entire trilogy of young Kenobi, young Anakin, Padme's relationship with Anakin, just everything going on with Anakin's growth and his desire to want more, and just Palpatine manipulating him and kind of getting his claws on him at a young age. And then we get Revenge of the Sith, where we see Order 66 completely play out. And we see Jedi getting murdered. We see Anakin Skywalker turn to the dark side, help Palpatine get rid of Mace Windu. And then you see and then Obi-Wan has to go fight Anakin and basically kill him. He thought he did, but he didn't. And then we see the impact that him turning dark has on Padme. He almost basically kills her with the Force choke. We see Obi-Wan saying those lines about, "You are my brother, Anakin. You were supposed to defeat the Sith, not join them." And Anakin screaming back at him like, "I hate you!" Like, there's so much visual storytelling to support Obi-Wan being weak. And the fact that he has spent 10 years on this harsh desert planet, that's how Tatooine is described, harsh desert planet, with no training, no lightsaber, his saber was buried in the sand. I think that's where expectations get people into trouble. Because it's like, oh, Anakin and Vader are going to fight again, or Obi-Wan and Vader are going to fight again. It's going to be amazing. And it's like, that first fight was exactly what it should have been. That was the first time he pulled out his saber in 10 years. Anakin, or Vader, I always want to call him Anakin. Vader's been like training and building up for these 10 years. He could have just crushed him in a second if he really wanted to, and he didn't. And we'll obviously talk about that as we get through this. But everything we're seeing with Obi-Wan makes total sense because of all the visual storytelling that we got from the prequels. The connections, the emotion, the impact, all of that stuff, the relationships that we have as fans with these characters. On the flip side with Luke, words and dialogue's not visual storytelling. You can't tell me, oh, hey, Luke went through this, it was really horrible. Like, no, that doesn't work. If we're gonna get a major character shift, which Kenobi, that's a big character shift from his peak to what he is now, and then with Luke from Return of the Jedi to The Last Jedi, there's a big shift. Huge shift in character. So the idea that we got like a couple week flashbacks, it's not enough. So that's why I really, really believe
this version of Obi-Wan makes total sense, and why I'm all about it. I'm all for it. As we see in this episode, he starts building back up with the Force. He's getting his mojo back. And by the end of these 6 episodes, I'm hopeful that we're going to get a massive, massive fight. It's going to be the one that everyone really wants. It's going to blow everyone away. That's at least my expectation going in, which again could be very dangerous. But that's kind of where I am on that. And also, before we jump into specifics of the episode, I was watching Star Wars Theory's stream last night, and there's an article about the main writer for Obi-Wan not having knowledge of Revenge of the Sith, not having knowledge that Obi-Wan knew Anakin was Vader. The whole him being dead thing, that's fine. I mean, 10 years, I still think 10 years is a big gap for Obi-Wan to not have any idea that Anakin / Vader is alive. But hello, Obi-Wan absolutely knew who Vader was. He watched the hologram. Rise Lord's Vader. I don't know if that article is 100% accurate. I don't know if it's taken out of context. I don't know what the deal is, but if it's true that this writer is questioning and asking permission, hey, is this cool to use this to Pablo Hidalgo? I don't know how you hire a writer to write a Kenobi show who doesn't have an insane level of knowledge, fandom for the prequels. Even Clone Wars. You have to know everything about these characters. I don't know. I heard about that and I was just I was kind of blown away, to be honest. But again, it's one of those things where articles, there's quotes in the article from the writer, so I don't know how you kind of take that out of context, but it is what it is. But let's jump right into episode 4. Kind of overall thoughts. I thought, just like every episode, it had its good and it had its bad. This episode might have had more really bad than some of the other episodes, but overall, I thought it was okay. The bad is bad and the good was awesome. And I think it's something that the show is 100% suffering from. There's some good, some bad in every episode, and I'm going to hold my overall criticism. I tweeted again, my personal Twitter. I tweeted that I'm officially in the camp of I don't have a good feeling about this. I'm a little nervous. We only have 2 episodes to go. I don't know what is going to happen in these last 2 episodes, but I'm going to hold my complete opinions and thoughts to destroy everything until it's over. If it goes the way these previous 4 have gone, I'm going to be upset. Because, again, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, that era is my favorite time in Star Wars. I love the original trilogy more than anything. I love the prequels very, very much. But jumping into this episode, it starts with Obi-Wan in a bacta tank healing from the burns that Vader, he dragged him through the fire and tortured him and all that stuff. And I feel like I'm going to say this a lot about this episode. I feel like missed opportunity. I feel like there was a missed opportunity here to give us some emotional, heartfelt flashbacks with Obi-Wan and Anakin from either the Clone Wars, even if it is the prequels, regardless of what it is. Give us some really heavy, hard-hitting emotional flashbacks there. Instead, he was experiencing and visualizing what happened to him with Vader, which, all right, whatever. But the precedent was set with Boba Fett that visions and flashbacks happen. So I feel like it was... Did I say A New Hope? The writer hadn't seen Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. But the track record with Boba Fett having flashbacks and having vision, I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to give us some really hard hitting, because the one thing this show has been lacking has been emotion. I haven't felt the emotion. I haven't felt any moments being like getting those tingly feelings. I thought the first time Obi-Wan and Vader would come face to face, I thought we would get some really heartfelt, emotional dialogue. I haven't felt that yet. So we jump into Leia being interrogated by Reva, and this whole interrogation thing is a little weird. She's 10 years old. It's not like she's Princess Leia from A New Hope, where she has all this really detailed information about this resistance and the safe house at the Jedi's. Like, these detailed questions, I just don't understand it. And, you know, Reva calls him Obi-Wan to Leia. We meet O'Shea Jackson's character, which I don't know where his character's going to go. But initially, right off the bat, it's really cool seeing him. You know, Ice Cube's kid. I don't know where his character's going to go, but again, expectation setting. Quinlan Voss's name was mentioned in the last episode. Everyone, I saw speculation like, oh, he's gonna be Quinlan Voss. It's like, no, wasn't Quinlan Voss. We'll see who he is, and we'll see what impact he has on this show in these last 2 episodes. I don't know if we're gonna see him again, because again, we don't have a lot of room to tell this story with these last 2 episodes, but we'll see. He talks about having like a Force-sensitive wife being taken by the Inquisitors and talking about how he understands what the Empire is capable of. We find the fortress. They find the fortress. They make a plan to get in. Talia helps with the Imperial access, because of course she does. But back to Leia, where, you know, Reva's doing a lot of talking. She's talking to Leia a lot. And it's almost like she's trying to like connect with her, like, hey, I had a droid too. Hey, you know, these people were looking for you. Like, they're not going to come back. They're going to let you, like, kind of trying to experience and connect with her, which I don't know. I don't understand that whole moment, and I don't think it was the best part of the episode. But Kenobi gets in the Inquisitor base, no problem, using the same little underwater breathing apparatus that he used in the prequels, which is kind of fun. But he takes out the single trooper at the entrance. Seems a little easy to get into the Inquisitor base. I don't know. Just felt a little simple, but it is what it is. It's Obi-Wan. He sneaks around well. He's great at stealth. I guess I didn't need to have that much security at the entrance there, but is her name Tala or Talia? I need to look that up. Am I saying it wrong? Tala? Tala. I know how it's spelled. Am I saying it right? It's Tala? Tala. I'll just say Tala. Yes, the fortress has been broken into twice now. So maybe at some point they'll up their security. But Tala's talking on the comm device around other Imperials. She made her way through. Not weird at all, just kind of sitting here whispering into a comm device, which, whatever. They clearly don't question or listen to each other, which, fine. But she ends up getting pulled away because she's not at her station. And then we see Kenobi again sneaking around, very much like A New Hope. And he's speaking into a comm device that's left behind, which I feel like is another callback to the original trilogy, because we see that happening in the original movie in A New Hope. So kind of enjoying the like very small subtle callbacks. I think it's kind of fun. Kenobi tricks a couple troopers with the Force, makes a little sound. He does that also in A New Hope, which it almost felt like very similar situation. I mean, we get where he learned his stealth ability and his ability to move around and get things done. And as you kind of see him through this episode kind of growing with the Force, he's getting more powerful, he's getting his mojo back, and I very much enjoy seeing that aspect of this episode. And we got more Reva talking to Leia. Leia uses the we're on the same side. Reva's trying to like convince, like, hey, we're all on the same side. Well, it's like, well, then let me call my dad since we're all on the same side. She gets outsmarted by a 10-year-old. I mean, Leia is very smart and she's very good and she's definitely one of the best parts of this show at this point. But she takes her to the interrogation room. Did that happen before? All right. Reva takes her to the interrogation room, straps her up to the device that looks very similar to the one that Han dealt with in Empire Strikes Back. And then we're back with Obi-Wan. He enters this, essentially like this tomb trophy room of dead Jedi, which pretty insane, kind of visual, but like interesting placement of where they kept it at the bottom of the Inquisitor base. Like I thought that was kind of weird, but I didn't recognize anyone. There was speculation that there's potentially Mace Windu somewhere in the background, but I think he had both arms fully intact, so I don't think Mace would be back there. And if that was Mace Windu back there, that's pretty lame to do that without having Obi-Wan be like, holy shit, Mace Windu, like what? Like you can't have him there and have Obi-Wan walking down looking at every single one of them and then suddenly being like, you just can't have him in the background. But there's rumors that he's back there. But Tala creates a diversion to help save Leia, lies to Reva about where the Jedi safe house is. Another moment Reva could have just used her power. Yes, I did skip the part where Leia blocked Reva's mind control ability, which I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like it initially. I know Leia's the daughter of Vader, Anakin, but we were told that Reva is being kept around because of a very specific skill set, and it's assumed that it's her mind reading ability, but she never uses it. And she can't penetrate the mind of an untrained child. I don't care who the child is. Reva is clearly strong in the Force. It's just one of those things where that part, and then the fact that she's like, oh, you're strong, and then just leaves it at that. Isn't the whole point of the Inquisitors to kill Jedis or to capture Force sensitives? Like, isn't that the whole point? And like, she could sense that she's strong in the Force, and it's just like, oh, you're strong. You're strong. You're getting me fired up. I'm getting fired up here. But Reva also decides to not read Tala's mind. It's like one of those moments where they're having this conversation and Reva could tell that she's lying, but she can't tell if she's lying for her or against. How about you just read her mind and find out if she's lying for you or against you? It'd take 2 seconds, just jump into her brain like you did to the lying Jedi in like whatever episode that was. It's just the convenience of when she's using it and not using it, I think it's dangerous. Because it's just like, what is her strength? What is her power? When is she going to use it? She could have saved so much time and dialogue and just, I don't know. It's just one of those things where if she's so strong with her mind ability, why is she not using it in moments where she's trying to find answers? And especially when she knows she's dealing with a potential traitor who is lying. You just don't know what side she's lying on. It's just, I don't know. Like, just use your power and get some answers. This is one of the moments that I absolutely loved. I thought it was an absolutely dope scene. The lights go out. Kenobi's saber strikes. You see his blue saber lighting up the room. He takes out a couple stormtroopers, saves Leia. I really, really enjoyed that moment. I thought visually it was really cool. And again, we're starting to see Kenobi getting his groove back, getting strong with the Force. It's starting to come back to him as he's using it more and more. I very much enjoyed that scene. I already talked about Reva talking about Tala being a liar. The escape begins. And we've got Obi-Wan running around with a saber. We've got Leia running with him by his side. And we have probably one of the worst scenes in the show where Tala just kind of bonks a stormtrooper on the helmet. And he like Ric Flair, like getting hit in pro wrestling kind of maneuver where she could get a blaster and she takes him, like that moment, like what the hell is in these stormtroopers' helmets that you could just bonk them in the head It's like Ewoks were able to hit him in the head, no problem, take him out. Like, get your helmets checked, y'all. It's kind of silly. Actually, I don't think that's the worst part. I think the worst part's about to come up. But I loved seeing Obi-Wan deflecting the blasters, getting stronger, like I said, with the Force, fighting and taking out the stormtroopers. He deflects a blaster shot into the glass where maybe they would have learned their lesson from Fallen Order, but the glass is very breakable. And so the glass is breaking, water is going to come in. He starts using the Force to hold it there. He gets Leia out. Stormtroopers are coming in, and he's getting stronger and stronger as this glass is getting closer and closer to breaking. And I thought that was another really dope scene. He lets the glass go, the water flows in, they get out, and then you see a bunch of dead stormtroopers just drowning in the water. I thought that sequence was really cool. I thought, just again, the more we get to see Obi-Wan getting back to being strong Obi-Wan, I think it's great for the story. And I fully believe by the time this show's over, these last 2 episodes, I think he's going to be back to being peak Obi-Wan Kenobi that we know. He's going to whoop Vader's ass. And then that's where we're going to lead into the whole last time I left you. You were the master, I was the learner, now I'm the master, that whole situation. But I think we're getting there. I think we're building towards that moment. We're not getting all 6 episodes of a week running away Obi-Wan. Dude's gonna Hulk up, he's gonna fight, and it's just taking a little bit of time. And here comes the most ridiculous moment of the entire episode. On their way out, they put on some Imperial gear, and Obi-Wan's got a coat, and Leia's under the coat with him, hiding. This is like the kind of shit you see in like a Tom and Jerry fucking cartoon. I thought that was just really bad in the moment. It made me kind of chuckle as I was watching it on the first watch. The more I've let it like kind of sink in and think about it, it's just the alarms are blaring. You don't think people and the troopers and the Imperials are kind of looking around for something kind of fishy? That looked fishy. That looked very odd. But it is what it is. They end up getting away. And Vader storms into the scene. That was a really cool moment too. Just he was fucking pissed. He was angry. He showed up to the Inquisitor hideout, and he force pulls Reva, lifts her up, starts choking her. He should have snapped her head off if we were dealing with real Vader, because I think I saw a comment somewhere like, when has Vader ever given someone the ability to kind of like defend themselves? Like, obviously he's released the Force choke because Tarkin told him to release one of the Imperials in A New Hope. But it's like, that level of fuck up, you would think people's heads would literally be rolling. But he let Reva go because she reveals that she planted a tracking device on Leia's droid. Okay, no one dies in that moment. And I feel like that moment kind of solidifies the fact that there's no real explanation as to why Vader let Obi-Wan go, which I think that's an absolutely massive story hole. I think that's gigantic, and if there's no dialogue or anything to support why he just let him walk away and get rescued, I think that's going to be a big issue. I have my reasons for why I think, but it shouldn't be left up to the audience's speculation about why he let him go. I think the clear ones, he was weak, wants to beat him at his peak, he got help, wants to track him. I don't think he's scared of fire. He lives on Mustafar now. I think he's embracing the whole fire thing. I just think that kind of solidified the idea that maybe he just let him go for no real reason in particular. I don't know. But they're on the ship. Leia and Kenobi and everyone else is on the ship. They leave. There's a touching moment where Leia grabs his hand and they have a really good moment. But I don't know. Overall, again, I think there was some good and some bad. I feel like the bad in this episode were really bad. I mean, the hiding under the coat and trying to exit through a bunch of Imperials while alarms are blaring, I don't think that's great. I don't think Reva's Reva not using her ability in obvious moments is starting to annoy me a little bit. Obviously, this needs to prolong the story, and there needs to be a story told if she gets all the information. I don't know. I don't like that Leia was resisting Reva early on, and then Reva did nothing in counter till I'd be like, oh, hey, you're actually really strong in the Force. You're a Force user. Like, I get that Leia, as an older Leia also resisted Vader in A New Hope and was able to get through their tactics there. But we're talking about a child, a 10-year-old. I don't know. I just don't like the fact that she was able to power through that when again, I guess it's just speculation and assumption by the viewers that Reva's got really powerful mind control, and maybe she doesn't, and maybe it's a lot harder than we thought. I thought there was missed opportunities with Kenobi in the back to tank. O'Shea Jackson's character, I hope he gets more than one episode, because I think it would be cool if we got more with him, regardless of what his relationship is. If he's part of the soon-to-be-formed rebellion, whatever it is, I think it'd be kind of fun to get something good from him. And I just... These Easter eggs are cool, but I feel like there's just nothing but giant teases at this point. They're not gonna like they threw in Quinlan Voss's name just to throw in Quinlan Voss's name. I don't know if anything's gonna build off of that. It felt like a good opportunity to involve him in this series, being at this Jedi safe house. I don't know. But again, the Kenobi action I thought was great. I loved watching him get stronger and stronger and stronger with the Force, fighting and deflecting blasters, and kind of like he struck down the one stormtrooper and then like hit his he hasn't hit his pose yet, but he hit a pose. I thought that was really cool. He's starting to feel really good. But the relationship with Kenobi and Leia, I love it. I think it's great. But on the flip side, I think it's almost a little too strong of a bond now. They've almost been through too much based off of what we see in A New Hope. That's probably one of my smallest nitpicks because, again, we'll see how it plays out. They could have a conversation talking about, like, hey, if you ever need my help again, refer to me as this. We'll keep it, like, undercover. General Kenobi. We're not going to, like, reveal our relationship or that. Maybe she gets her mind wiped somehow, even though that wouldn't make sense because she's clearly very powerful in the Force and her mind is impenetrable. So I don't know how they would wipe her mind in that moment. But again, I'm going to hold my overall anger. I'm composing myself, and I want to wait and see how these last two episodes go. I think these last two episodes could salvage a lot. I think they could be great. And 100%, I have a very bad feeling about this. I'm not going to lie. This episode kind of officially put me in that camp. I have a bad feeling about this. We'll see where it goes. There's just too many episodes. I mean, too many episodes. There's not enough episodes, but there's just so many questions going into the final two episodes. Like, are we ever going to get explanation how Reva knew Anakin as Vader? Are we going to get the Grand Inquisitor back? What is going on there? And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more questions and questionable things going into these last two episodes, but we'll see. Overall, I enjoyed the episode because it was fun, but the problems are mounting and they're growing, and there were a lot of bad things in this episode. What do you guys think? Hello, Stream Elements.
Last Jedi 2.0, this show has been all over the place. The bait and switch is happening right in front of our eyes. They have missed the mark with Kenobi and Anakin. Just my opinion.
I don't know if there's like a bait and switch going on, because like, even though there's other stories going on, the focus is still on Kenobi. It's not like Book of Boba Fett where he was absent for 2 episodes. Like, the story is being progressively told with Obi-Wan, which I think makes total sense. Again, it goes back to what we were introduced to with him at the beginning. He's weak, he's older, it's 10 years past, living in the harsh desert. He has no strength in the Force. He hasn't been using the Force because strategically he's not, because he needs to protect Luke and not have his cover blown. I think that's probably my favorite part of the story at this point, with the exception of what we've seen from Vader. I think the slow burn growth with Obi-Wan getting back into the swing of things and getting his mojo back, I think that's been a really strong part of the story, and I think we're just building to it. I don't know what people were, again, I always talk about expectation setting. Sometimes that gets myself into trouble. I love setting expectations. I think it's a lot of fun. But I don't know what people were expecting. Were they expecting like a Avengers Endgame when Thor gets the hammer and he's like worthy, and he's got the electricity flowing through his body, and he's like ready to fight, like it's just a snap of the fingers? Like Obi-Wan pulls out his lightsaber, he's gonna be peak Obi-Wan? Like, is that what people were thinking was gonna happen here? I don't think that's the case. They're obviously telling other stories around his story, which is fine. I don't feel like it's completely taking away from him, which is what I would consider a bait and switch. I like Reva. There's obviously a lot of Reva, and it is what it is. But the Leia relationship, I feel like, is big. Obviously, Canon is basically broken with how much time he spent off Tatooine and spending with Leia. And again, it makes for a better story overall, just having him going off-world to go run these other missions. I think it's working in terms of the Obi-Wan aspect. I know there were a lot of expectations built, but it's kind of playing out. The moment we saw him the way he was in episode 1, I think it works. Day job, going back and forth, very mundane, very boring, not doing anything, not getting involved with anyone. I think it fits. Technically, canon isn't broken. Well, technically canon is broken because under what we're told in A New Hope, Obi-Wan never did anything. He just stayed there and watched over Luke. That was it. There was never supposed to be a situation where he went off planet to save Leia. Obviously, there had to have been an encounter somewhere with Leia, because I do fully believe that Leia knew who Kenobi was. I don't think that's a question because of the way she reacts to Luke. But
whether we end up loving or hating it, it is still a blast to talk about Star Wars. Steven, do you think you will react to Bad Batch Season 2?
that is absolutely a fact. The fact that we get to talk about Star Wars is probably the best part, because I love talking about it. I could talk about it for hours, whether I love it or hate it, regardless of what end of the spectrum it falls on. I absolutely love talking about Star Wars. I could back up all my negative thoughts. I don't ever try to be too toxic about shit. I'll let people have their opinions and express them, as long as you can express them. Because I'm going to express why I like stuff and why I can't. I'm going to back it up with as much explanation and history and studying as I can. And if there's more to learn, I'm always up for learning more. But it's definitely one of those things where, yeah, talking about Star Wars is fun. It's the best part, and it's unfortunate that stuff does get a little heated, but it's kind of the way it goes sometimes. And to answer the question about the Bad Batch, probably won't do reactions. We'll see how that goes. I think I 100% want to do watch parties at the release. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll see about that. And thanks, Jake and Sean. Thank you for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Would you be happy to see an up-to-date Ewok? No, I'm good. We got enough Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. Heated debates are fine. Heated debates are perfectly fine. It's when you start throwing out the real fans stuff, like that's when you lose you'll lose me immediately. The moment you put fans in quotes just because you're being critical. Or if you're called a shill because you like it, you're done. You're out immediately.
I have never felt so much love. Oh my god.
Agreed. Here to talking about Star Wars is the best.
Thank you, North. Appreciate that very much. The huge super chat, the 25. Thank you very much. No one can tell someone how to be a fan. Exactly. What the hell is a shill? Someone who's basically like gonna say it's good regardless of what their actual opinions are. They'll lie about it. Someone called me a shill on the episode 3 reaction. I'm like, you've clearly never heard my take on Solo or The Last Jedi. I ain't a fucking Disney shill. Get out of here. I just sometimes share my opinions till the end because you never know what it's gonna end up looking like. I'm a little more composed sometimes with my opinions just because I want to see how it's gonna play out. Exactly, and that's kind of the point. They obviously have not heard my Solo sucks rant. Solo wasn't even as bad as The Last Jedi, though. I think it was. I think it was actually way worse. I think it does unfixable damage to multiple characters. It has, to this point, not added anything new to the Star Wars universe. It's made things that we thought were really cool seem kind of lame. Like the Kessel Run sucks. The way Han Solo got his name sucks. They turned Lando Calrissian into a cheater. I don't think they're doing any damage. Honestly, what damage? I want to hear from the folks in the chat who think damage is being done to Kenobi. What negative story is being told that is hurting the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi? I want to know that, because I don't see that. Again, like I talked about at the very beginning, this isn't a Luke in The Last Jedi situation. I also have 3 comments on the community tab that I'm going to get to in a sec. Since when can you lose the Force? What do you mean? You think just because he's strong in the Force, he's gonna immediately pick back up after 10 years of living in the desert and beat Vader in a lightsaber duel? He hasn't trained. He's gotten older. Like, the story's there. Like, it's not like it's some out of left field thing like in my opinion Luke was. The guy's chopping up fish in the desert. Like, how is that going to help him fight Darth Vader, who's clearly at his peak? Do you think they could redo Solo movie? No, they don't. No, it's fine. Doesn't matter. They could expand on it. The real Obi-Wan would have avoided most of the violence. He's protecting Leia. I don't see him avoiding anything in those moments. What's he gonna do? Let him get kidnapped? Let her get kidnapped by the Empire? Sometimes you go out of character to save people in extreme moments. I'm not a violent person. If someone breaks into my house trying to get my children, they're getting fucking murked. That's not in my character. Always avoid violence until you can't avoid violence. The thing that they could do to improve on Solo is to tell a cool story with Maul and Kira. And then something with Infant's Nest. I thought Infant's Nest was super cool. But nothing has happened with that character since. So it's like, elaborate those two stories, and I think Solo could bring a little bit more value to the Star Wars universe. It doesn't need to be anything about Solo. We don't need more Lando, even though I thought Donald Glover was great. I thought the character was just horribly written. Solo Disney Plus show? Please. I honestly don't think the character is being damaged. It's the writing and presentation of the show that seems... And that's, yeah, I think that's fair. I think the overall writing is a little questionable. And we're kind of on a streak of that. Because Boba Fett was written pretty poorly, in my opinion. And now this show has just... Again, there's so many questions leading into these final 2 episodes. I don't know if we're going to get those answers. Do you think we'll get the Emperor backstory series? I'll chalk that one up to less is more. I don't know. If it's done right, it could be kind of cool. Like a young Palpatine learning from brain farting. Who the hell was his master? How am I brain farting on that name? Plagueis, thank you, jeez. If we got like a young Palpatine learning with Plagueis and then killing Plagueis, like in the story that he told to Anakin, I think that'd be pretty cool. A Sith Academy show. They absolutely need to give us something new. 1,000,000%.
If Disney does a Solo TV show, they should get your Solo Sucks rant as the theme of the show. Lol JK.
Warning, Solo Sucks rant. Warning, Solo Sucks rant. Warning, Solo Sucks rant. Warning, Solo Sucks rant.
I think it's the worst Star Wars movie ever created. Oh, I brain fart all the time. But nice job. Thank you for the 5 iron. My brain doesn't work like normal brains. I've been hitting the head a lot. All right, let's check out some of these community posts. First one from North. The only thing that brought me really far out of this episode was Leia hiding under the coat of Obi-Wan inside the Inquisitor base. That was on high alert and somehow making up multiple levels and being able to get in the launch bay. There were some other things too. I wish Vader was a little more brutal, but maybe hoping for too much here. Possibly. But not really. I think I'm with you there. I also hope they explain why Leia felt she never had this grand adventure with Obi-Wan in A New Hope. A memory repo or something could help explain that. I don't know. If she's resisting Inquisitor's mind probes, maybe if she like... But again, you're basically telling Leia, like, hey, you're strong in the Force. And she doesn't know that. Right? So I don't know how they're going to get around that whole situation. And then Iron Minotaur To me, this particular episode is probably the biggest inconsistent episode I've ever saw in the modern day Star Wars. For me, the base from Rogue One had tighter, or rather heavier security than this fortress. Tala getting away with everything in plain sight and not being outright executed. Leia not being guarded by purge troopers just in case Obi-Wan shows up.
Vader should have choked himself out for letting Kenobi go last episode. He's the biggest failure of them all.
I think the fact that they didn't give us an explanation as to why that happened, I think that's a big failure to this point. And the way he handled the Inquisitors at the end of the episode kind of shows maybe he didn't do it on purpose. I don't know. Thank you, Never Lose Your Nerd. Let me get back to Iron's question here. Iron Minotaur. I'm going to start it over, just for editing purposes. The Iron Minotaur. To me, this particular episode is probably the biggest inconsistent episode I've ever seen in Star Wars, modern day Star Wars. The base from Rogue One had tighter, or rather heavier security than the fortress. Tala getting away with everything in plain sight and not being outright executed. She should have been. Leia not being guarded by purge troopers just in case Obi-Wan shows up. Reva going one-on-one with those snow speeders from Empire Strikes Back. That was hilarious, by the way. And finally, the biggest sin, Vader showing restraint towards those who failed him. Last time I checked, Vader would execute those who even remotely failed him. Giving Reva the let go was the camel that broke my back. Dear God, I need a drink. Yeah, I think those are all very valid points. Absolutely. Vanessa Rodriguez, the last one from the community tab. And this is also a perk that members get. If you're able to join the channel, you get to vote on movie nights that we have every weekend, and you get to submit questions that'll get answered on streams like this. So, something to think about. Vanessa Rodriguez, Reva not using her mind control is probably the most annoying thing for me in this episode. I understand maybe the strategy of seeing what is said first, then read their minds, but she didn't do that. I would like to see her actually use her mind control more. Do you think Reva didn't use her control on Leia because maybe she sensed who Leia is to Vader? She shouldn't be able to sense that through Leia's mind, because Leia doesn't know who her dad is. But maybe she could maybe tap into other things that could expose that information. I don't know. But I fully agree with you. Her picking and choosing, like the fact that she didn't use her mind ability on Tala is that's bizarre to me. This person is clearly lying directly to your face, and you're not gonna, one, strike her down, or two, even like take a peek in her brain and see what the hell's going on. I don't know. That inconsistency is probably one of my more annoying parts of the writing to this point. But again, I don't hate it yet. I'm getting close, and I'm nervous, but I think we'll get close. Reva is a novice. She has moments of power and moments of weakness. I don't know. If one of the Inquisitors is like, we're keeping you around because you're one of your abilities, that doesn't sound like, I'm not keeping a novice around who can kind of sporadically use her powers here and there. If she's that strong, which that kind of statement would imply, fucking use it. It's not like Tala is some super powerful force user. Jump in that brain, yo. Find out what the hell's going on. You'll figure out all the answers to all your questions like that. Oh, man. Star Wars sucks. Rant or rat? Rant? Gotta refresh that member post. Miles, I am 75% sure that Reva is a spy and not actually trying to help the Inquisitors. That would be horrible. Not saying that you're wrong, but I think that would be horrible. So she might have reasons for her behavior that will be revealed at a twist at the end. I'm fine with a mystery why she's behaving so weird so far. People are too harsh without having seen all episodes yet. I will take back if the show is over and we still have no clue, but so far I will be patient and enjoy the show. Yeah, I'm being patient too. I'm doing my best. It's just... she's right under Vader's nose as a spy for the rebellion or the Jedi Saint. Like, no! That would make Vader look like a fucking idiot. That would bother me a lot, actually. Just like if Reva, like, jumped into, like, Vader's brain to find out that he's Anakin. If that's the truth, I will lose my mind. The idea of the story wouldn't be horrible. The idea that one of the main Inquisitors under Vader's control would be able to play him like that would be horrible. I was hoping for a show focused on Kenobi and Vader with lots of flashbacks. I didn't expect one about Kenobi chasing after Leia for 4 episodes. It's been a lot more than him just chasing after Leia, especially in terms of Kenobi's side of things. You think people give Vader more credit than he deserves? As in, he's the most powerful Force user that this universe has ever seen? I don't think that's too much credit. Vader's not stupid. He's never been stupid. And getting played by a created character for this series would make him look completely idiotic. And that would do damage to Darth Vader as a character. I mean, the fact that he let her go is kind of a questionable decision. Vader is strong with the Force, like the strongest. I mean, yeah, he's supposed to be. But if you're gonna let this young Inquisitor friggin' dance under your power as a spy, then I think that's a horrible, horrible, horrible story element to tell. Say what about Anakin? You would say the same about Anakin. Do you think Anakin is super smart? I mean, he was easily influenced by the other most powerful Sith of all time. But I wouldn't ever say that Anakin wasn't smart. You don't think Anakin is smart at all? Why? Based off of what? Thanos. Vader would crush Thanos. You think Anakin is dumb? I guess we watch different content. Being manipulated by Palpatine doesn't make him dumb. He was actually quite strategic in every piece of fighting that he had been in, with the exception of maybe one time where he went to attack and got his arm sliced. What do I think about Reva? I don't know yet. There's still too many questions about her. He's a brat throwing tantrums left and right. Wow. I don't even have a response to that. I mean... It's not like a new thing in Star Wars. That super powerful Force users want more and are obsessed about it. Luke was whiny. Kylo was whiny. We see Reva being annoying as fuck. It's part of the trait. Makes sense. And I mean, in Clone Wars alone, he was a general and a really smart tactician. From my point of view, the Jedi are dumb. I think getting that a little twisted is just the influence from Palpatine does not equal Anakin being dumb, in my opinion. But to each their own. You want to think he's dumb, that's fine. Why does everyone want to kill every Jedi? Because the Jedi are a threat to what Emperor is building. Yeah, Ahsoka was annoying as fuck too when she started. Now she's like beloved. He's dumb because he's not smart. Not because of Sidious, but yeah, you'd have to be a moron to trust. What? I don't even want to get into this conversation. I'm not going to say my thoughts on it. I want to hear what political agenda is being pushed in Kenobi. Please share that one. I'm still blown away by the "you'd have to be a moron to trust Sidious" comment. Star Wars died when Disney bought it. They're making billions of dollars. I think they're doing just fine. I mean, from the audience point of view, he's clearly an evil nutcase. But no one else can see that. By the time they realized what the hell was going on, it was too late. Talk about, like, underestimating Sidious. Nikki's brought up her MLMs. The dude under the Jedi's nose took over the entire galaxy and eliminated, for the most part, the Jedi. Wow, that guy is dumb. Sounds like an absolute brilliant strategist, in my opinion. And he was able to bring the most powerful and easily influenced Jedi to join his cause. You can't speak in terms of a character being dumb because of what we know as an audience. Then Obi-Wan's dumb and Yoda's dumb and Windu's dumb and everyone on the Jedi Council's dumb. Sidious did it to the entire galaxy's no, that's how strong he is. Being easily influenced is not dumb. Two very different things. When you have a vision of your mom dying and then she dies, and then you have visions of your wife dying while having pregnancy, and then Sidious being able to know that and manipulating him, that's not him being dumb. That's him being emotional. You need help with a mod? Or from a mod? Anyone would do the same with their mother. And their significant other. He got to Anakin as a child. Anakin even says it. When Obi-Wan asks him to spy on him, he says, "You want me to spy on a friend and a mentor?" It's more than just... the dude has no dad. He lost his mom. He's basically feeling rejected by the council because they didn't put him on the council. Despite... or they put him on the council, but they didn't make him a master. Palpatine is the only one outside of Padme, and even she questioned some of his stuff sometimes. I mean, he says it. If you don't, if you can't see their relationship, then, I mean, I don't know what else to say. In the first movie, he's like, "I'm going to watch your career very closely," and then proceeds to, and saves Palpatine, and they have many moments of bonding and conversation, and I don't know, it's pretty obvious to me. But again, not everyone sees things the same way. Three movies. It plays out across 3 movies. It's a slow burn story. Do you notice the severe lack in quality writing in the show? 100%. I feel like hearing that Stranger Things had a budget of what, 300 million? And Obi-Wan had a budget of 90 million? I don't understand. I don't get, obviously that's part of the reason why Netflix is where they are, but I don't understand why you don't give Obi-Wan a budget like that. And then hearing the story about the writer for Obi-Wan, I am absolutely not surprised at all. Unfortunately. Yeah, go back and watch all the movies. It feels clear as day to me. Palpatine, from the moment he met Anakin, was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna watch your career." He's been pumping this dude up since the moment he met him, saying that you should go on these missions, you should do this, they're not giving you enough. He was manipulating Anakin from the moment he met him. The writer, there's a story out that the writer had to ask questions quote, I don't know if it's a direct quote, but he basically didn't have any experience with Revenge of the Sith. He never saw Revenge of the Sith. So he didn't know that. He had to ask if Kenobi knew Anakin was Vader. Where it's clear as day in the movie that he's watching the hologram, and Palpatine says, "Ride, Lord Vader." It's right there. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that part of the story. And I don't know how true it is. Like, when because I only heard about that because I was watching while I was editing last night. I was watching Star Wars Theories stream, and someone mentioned it, and he pulled up like 5 different articles about the interview that the writer did. And there were people in his chat saying like, "Oh, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real." I'm like, but he kept pulling up like there were direct quotes from an interview, so I don't know what could be misleading or false or fake about it, but that's a horrible story if it's true. I mean, I definitely don't think Disney did anyone any favors with how they responded to the Reva stuff. All that's going to do is fuel more hate. But I just wish people would leave actors alone. Do we think Canon would be better off without this show? I don't know. We'll see once the show's over. I mean, her DMs would say otherwise, but in this scenario, in this world, the stuff that we're talking about right now, I despise more than anything the people that attack the actors for their roles. That stuff is so out of bounds and so uncalled for. Is the writer related to The Last Jedi? If he was related to Rian Johnson, he'd be talented and smart. Maybe not about Star Wars. Rian Johnson's great. It goes even beyond that, Miles. Like, that's obviously a problem. But, like, Hayden Christensen getting death threats, the actor that plays Jar Jar, like, just the attacks and the death threats for being a character that people don't like is just ridiculous. Rian Johnson's fantastic. He's just not fantastic at Star Wars. I bet if he got... I don't think it'll ever happen. I'm not confident he's going to get his trilogy. But I'm pretty sure if he got a trilogy far away from any character that we've ever heard of, I'm sure it'll probably be really cool. People bullied the young Anakin actor into quitting acting. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's easy to be blind to that stuff. Unfortunately. You should never be blind to that kind of shit. It is like, but that's kind of the world we live in now. If you like criticize, dude, Delar, just look it up. It's all over the internet. I don't think you could post links here anyways, but it's all over the place. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. It is difficult because to this point, Reva has taken a lot of screen time from Kenobi and Vader. She's been a pretty heavy focus. They are really dragging out her character story. And her dialogue's not great. And it's a sad thing that not liking the character would automatically mean that you don't like the person.
My go-to rule is blame the writing of the characters and direction. Not the actor or actress. Any blame game on the actor and actress earns zero respect from me. It's not their fault their character written in that manner.
100%. I mean, who in their right mind would want to turn down a role in Star Wars? Like, they're doing a job. It's just like you and me going to our job. That's their job. They're playing a character that's written for them. They shouldn't be attacked ever for what they do on the screen. What's rude? What happened? What happened? I think... I think the hour-long thing was... The message before your message was rude. What, the super chat? I'd start with google.com. Episode 4, 6 out of 10. What am I'm missing something. It doesn't take PayPal? That's weak. I didn't know that. Yeah, we were actually just talking about that, Callie. That's mind-boggling. Like, for real. Yeah, I heard Star Wars Theory talking about it last night on his stream. Pretty wild. I mean, it's overall very disappointing. Like, how do I get that job? I'm not even an expert, and I could be a better continuity producer than that. Space is cool. PayPal offers credit cards now? That sounds dangerous. A PayPal credit card, eh? Alright, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap up. I hear kids rumbling in the behind the door over here. You guys have anything else to add? Yeah, the saving, I mean, saving a child is a very big storyline in Star Wars. We got that in Mandalorian. We got that in The Bad Batch. We're getting that now in Kenobi. KK strikes again. I think this is bigger than her now. I think this is bigger than Kathleen Kennedy now. The story group is fucking up. What are your kids? What do you mean? Like, the writing in the shows have not been good. Our name? No, we don't say our names for our kids, no. Because didn't Filoni, was it Favreau write Boba Fett? Who wrote Boba Fett? The girls are being kind of loud right now. Favreau created it. So, like, we've put all of our faith into Favreau and Filoni. Favreau wrote Boba Fett. The story group is in charge of this Obi-Wan show. I think it's gone beyond Kathleen Kennedy, to be honest. I've had enough with impotent Kenobi. Alright, I'm going to ask this question too, for those who feel the same way Night King does. What did you expect him to be? I want to, like, honestly, what did you expect Kenobi to be? Well, apparently there's rumors that Feige is getting blocked from doing his Star Wars project, which is pretty wild. I expect Kenobi to be the way he is, weak and untrained. Yeah. I don't know what I don't like. That's where like like you go into the show expecting like Revenge of the Sith Kenobi. But, like, that's not realistic. That wasn't a real, like... I think that's the best part of this story, is watching him get back with the Force. They made it clear that he couldn't connect to the Force. You expected him to be rebuilding the Jedi Order. That's definitely not the case. At this point, yes, weak, scared. Well, especially, like, I don't care who you are. The first time you see Vader doing what he was doing, you're just gonna walk out there, be like, am I worthy? Where's my saber? I'll fight you, kill you to the death. Like, what? That dude was snapping kids' necks. I'd be fucking scared too. He had never seen him before. Good, he wasn't, they were tracking him and fought, like, looking for him. He couldn't use the Force. I think it's okay to go into stuff with a certain expectation, but it is hard to pivot on that expectation when it doesn't play out the way you want it to. I think Kenobi is easily the best part of the story. He's doing an amazing job. Ewan McGregor's doing an amazing job as Kenobi. I think that aspect of the story is the least of the show's problems. It's all the other stuff. Are they just short? Are they just short on writing talent? I don't know. How could you not find good... There's so many writers. There's so many people who adore Star Wars. it couldn't be that hard to find some. Now that would be funny, Obi-Wan talking about training new Jedi. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even feel like he wants to train Luke. Let alone try to relaunch the Academy. I don't know. Mosi! Oh yeah, Stranger Things has blown me away. In like the best way. I was not excited about this season. I think it would be okay if Kenobi was a little competent. Who's to say he wasn't? Like, he's fighting Vader. It's not like he handled those thugs and without much issue. Like, he got bloodied up a little bit, but he fought them no problem. We're talking about Darth Vader. I don't know. As a younger viewer that watched the prequels before the OT, I find I am much more forgiving than most fans I see. The writing here is okay. Thought Boba Fett was really bad. I can't torture Bail Organa because he's a senator. And there's still... The Empire hasn't fully taken over yet. So there's certain levels of the game that they still have to play. Jack and Hagar. Did Vader know Yoda trained Luke? I don't think so. When they encounter, Vader says to Luke, Obi-Wan trained you, taught you well, or whatever he says. They don't want writers with in-depth knowledge. I mean, they should. It's exactly what they should want. But, alright, y'all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the supers. Very much appreciate it. I did not play the Star Wars customizable card game in the late 90s. No. I did not. We will be back for a movie night on Saturday. Probably, I'm gonna predict that the Northman's gonna win, unless something Everywhere All at Once is available for streaming. Gotta check prices on rentals and shit to make sure the prices aren't crazy. I feel like it's gonna be a heated battle for movie night this week. We'll see. We're gonna crank out as many Stranger Things episodes and The Boys episodes and getting caught up. You don't ever have to apologize for getting heated. I don't get offended. As long as you're not talking shit about me, I don't care. Or my family. If you don't like something in Star Wars or something in Star Wars doesn't click and you express it properly, be as angry as you want. Northman's free on Peacock, but most people don't have Peacock, so that's kind of a challenge. What's The Boys about? Corrupt superheroes. I'll leave it at that. What is a peacock? I think that's the only reason it didn't win the vote last week. Besides that we were watching the sequel to Kingsman. If Superman lived in the real world, that's what The Boys is. Yeah, Peacock's another streaming service. There's like 500 of them, so. Alright, I'm really leaving this time. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the support. And my crazy, crazy dreams. See you guys later for the new one. For the next one. Have a good one. Bye.